The ideal body weight or the BMI, we know that's not an ideal measure, but it is a little bit higher in older people. Yeah, the outcomes tend to be better when they're carrying a little bit more.
So educating that for a patient and doctors, because they're rightly so probably not aware from their training as well, supporting that patient through the dietary approach, fortification, oral nutrition supplements, and working with her exercise physiologist. She was able to restore back to her usual body weight. Her bowels improved, fecal incontinence, her slow transit constipation. She was opening once a day and feeling fantastic. And the biggest outcome from that is that last appointment, she came in with 1 cane. So from a mobility perspective, she had increased strength and conditioning. I feel like I almost tear up every time I talk about that.
I knew this was going to happen.
Yeah, from a strength and conditioning perspective, it's just amazing.
I think that as a dietitian, there's nothing more satisfying than seeing an actual outcome that is a multiple sclerosis outcome. Once a person's nutritional status has been restored, that's why we do it. And honestly, it's really hard. It's hard work establishing who we are and what we do. We know that we're still up and coming and there's a long way to go, but it's those patient stories that keep us going.
Yeah. And arguably for a patient, most people present, especially if they're living in an overweight body or a larger body size, weight is always the primary end point for a lot of these patients. But thinking things back to MS, for both of these patients that I've spoken about, when they follow up with neurologists, there has not been evidence of any disease activity.
That was your first case study you didn't mention.
And not to say, diet is the only thing that is going on, because it's absolutely not. That second patient with malnutrition has primary progressive MS and is not currently receiving treatment. So her treatment we shape to her is holistic. Like, it's the only treatment we have for her is brain health and lifestyle and eating well and exercising, seeing her speech pathologist, seeing her OT, making sure she's safe in the home, for example.
Managing symptoms.
And overall quality of life. That is her management strategy, and arguably calling on team members that are best placed to support all of those elements is MS care. And I think that the biggest flavor of what's coming through as well in this conference is that comprehensive MS care. And what is that? And I think that message, especially from June Halper, the message that she has promoted through her clinical care and her advocacy work is comprehensive MS care, and involving a multidisciplinary team is the basis to that. And I think you can probably tell we're so passionate about it when we're speaking about it, but we have seen firsthand the outcomes that this can have on patients' lives. And again, not coming back to the sense that we don't give patients false hope that diet and exercising in combat to that and maybe stopping smoking will completely cure MS. We're very realistic and we don't want to provide that false sense of hope to people. But if that can improve symptoms, if that can improve things like brain scans, as we know, like we said, the obesity and metabolic comorbidities and the outcomes that are associated, the evidence base is too strong to ignore. And speaking to people all around, I think we're one of few dietitians at this conference, and people love speaking to us because they say, patients come to see me and they find they're doing better following a gluten-free and lactose-free and dairy-free eating plan. How can I help support that patient? And
that's a very common thing. Before we move on from that, so people start following a diet that has restrictions and all of a sudden they perceive that they feel better. What's very likely happened is that they've moved from a Western diet, which has a lot of processed foods that are high in saturated fat, added sugar, added salt. They've moved into a different eating pattern. Yes, it may be restrictive, but it's probably cleaned up quite a bit and they're noticing a benefit. But if they tried to move towards healthy eating, they would very likely also observe that benefit. And then they wouldn't be at risk of nutritional deficiencies as well.